Welcome to World Action and Reaction News. Please press subscribe button and press bell icon if you are new to the channel. Let's start news snapshot. In what could be viewed as a strategic counter to China, the Indian Air Force will operate a detachment of 2 Sukhoi Su-30 MKI aircraft from the Jolly Grant Airport in Dehradun for 2 days, 19 and February 20, reports Z News. The move is being seen as a preparatory exercise for possible Chinese aggression in the future and comes after several airspace violations in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand in the past. The detachment would operate from the airfield for 2 days from February 19 for area familiarization before returning to their parent base. As a routine exercise of activating civil airfield by the IAF, a detachment of 2 Su-30 MKI aircraft would operate from Jolly Grant Airport in Dehradun. India and China share a 4,000 km long border, of which 400 km is along Uttarakhand. In 2017, a Chinese helicopter was spotted flying over the Kamalai district in Uttarakhand, close to the border. The superintendent of police for Kamalai, Tripti Bhatt, had told reporters that the helicopter had violated Indian airspace for 3 to 5 minutes. A Scotland-based company expects to supply 2 third-generation deep search and rescue vehicles, DSRVs, to the Indian Navy by June following the successful completion of harbour acceptance trials. The 2 complete flyaway submarine rescue vehicles are to be delivered under a £193 million contract awarded to JFD, a leading underwater capability provider, in March 2016. The systems include launch and recovery systems equipment, transfer under pressure systems, and all logistics and support equipment required to operate the DSRVs. The initial harbour acceptance trials of the first DSRV, which were undertaken at Glasgow's King George V dock, are now complete. As part of this process, the system has been comprehensively tested in a variety of conditions, JFD said in a statement this week. Following the harbour acceptance trials, the DSRV will be fully integrated with the rest of the rescue system at a site in Glasgow, including the offshore handling system, intervention suite, and 90-person decompression facilities. JFD said the system had been developed to maximize the chances of successfully rescuing the crew of a distressed submarine. The full certified systems are due to be delivered to Indian Navy in June, it said. A total of 72 Indian Navy personnel have also been trained by JFD at a facility in Scotland to operate the vessels. The Indian Navy, which operates a mix of Russian and Western submarines, has for long projected a need for deep-sea rescue vessels to cope with possible accidents. Questions hang over the fate of an Indian project to set up 10 coastal surveillance radar systems, CSRS, in the Maldives after President Yameen Abdul Gayoom declared a state of emergency in the archipelago on February 5. India has set up 3 CSRS, the last of them in 2015, but they are not transmitting, a source in the defence establishment has told the New Indian Express. The latest schedule envisages the completion of the Maldivian CSRS, meaning 7 more radars by the end of March after 3 previous deadlines were breached. But the rhetoric that has been exchanged, the travel advisory issued by New Delhi, the cold vibes over the visit of an envoy plus China's wordy warning against external intervention have made an India-Maldives defence cooperation pact shaky. If the radars do not function as assessed by the Indian Navy, monitoring traffic near and through the Maldives, especially Chinese mercantile and military movements in the southern Indian Ocean, would be carried out only through 2 helicopters stationed in the country. Seeking to bolster its armoured capabilities during wars, the Indian Army is moving a proposal expected to be worth over Rs 2,200 crore for buying 150 infantry combat vehicles, which provide safety to troops from small arms firing in the battlefield. A proposal to acquire 150 infantry combat vehicles expected to be worth over Rs 2,200 crore is going to be placed before a high-level meeting of the Defence Ministry headed by Nirmala Sitharaman next week for approval, government sources told Mail Today. Army sources said the new combat vehicles would be acquired for use by the arms and services which support the infantry and other combat arms in the war, such as the Corps of Signals, Artillery, Combat Engineers, and others. The Indian Army is also looking at the prospect of acquiring a new futuristic infantry combat vehicle, which it wants to be given to its mechanist formations to tackle the challenges and situations of the modern-day warfare. In the project to procure 2,300 futuristic infantry combat vehicles, FICV, for the Indian Army, which has been held up for over a decade, apart from the State-Owned Ordnance Factory Board, OFB, which has been nominated for the project, L&T, Tata Motors, Reliance, Mahindra, and Tata Power said Titagarh wagons are also in the race. The Eastern Naval Command has now moved ahead from only protecting the country's interests within the Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ, to mission-based deployment, Vice Admiral Karambir Singh, Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, ENC, told Toy in Kolkata on Saturday. The presence of the Navy is now being felt well beyond the EEZ, said the commander of the largest geographical naval commands in the country. He was in the city for the INS Hooghly Cup and Navy Cup races. India is the stabilizing factor in the region and we are the net security provider. We want smaller countries to look up to us to provide stability and security. We are doing this through exercises and missions. Assets-wise, there is a lot of demand and we have already developed maintenance and operating programs to deal with the situation, Vice Admiral Singh said. Over the last several years, China has increased its presence in the Indian Ocean region, IOR, significantly. One of the reasons is the protection of its energy interests, as nearly 70% of its oil imports pass through the IOR. Not only that, China wants to dominate the IOR militarily and push India to a corner in a bid to throttle her growth. The taking over of the Hambantota port in Sri Lanka by Chinese companies is a strategic move in this direction.